Okay, welcome everyone to this webinar introducing a new SCOM community project by Squared Up. My name is Richard Benwell, founder and product architect at Squared Up, and I'll be joined later in this webinar by Nathan Foreman, who I'll introduce in just a few minutes' time. As always, we have our technical team online, including myself and Nathan, ready to answer any questions. So as we're going through the webinar, please do respond using the chat window on GoToWebinar, and we'll make this as interactive as possible. So I wanted to kick off by talking a little bit about the SCOM community and why the SCOM community is more important than ever before. Really, the monitoring challenges we're facing have become ever more, increasingly more dynamic and diverse. We perhaps have cloud migrations to consider and monitoring, Azure and other cloud-based infrastructure. We're facing typically a much more sort of mix and match approach to application stacks with your, developers and vendors using perhaps sort of different combinations of development tools and platforms. Of course, we have the sort of DevOps processes, so the applications themselves are becoming much more dynamic, and there's an increased focus generally on service management and monitoring application availability. So really monitoring is still as important as ever, but the sort of challenges we're facing are much more beyond just monitoring that static infrastructure. What we're hearing loud and clear is that SCOM still remains the central monitoring platform that we're all using, and probably the most widely deployed monitoring platform out there. I know sort of a number of years ago, Gartner, who analysed this space, would cite SCOM as the most widely deployed infrastructure monitoring tool available, and I'm sure that's still true today. Really SCOM is embedded in many organisations and is still the central monitoring platform that you're trying to monitor all of these sort of various stacks with. So really, SCOM is still extremely relevant, but of course it needs modernising to keep up to date with the modern and sort of current demands that are sort of outlined above. Now, what we're seeing from Microsoft is that they're focusing generally their innovation and resources on Azure and those cloud-based solutions. They certainly still do have a SCOM product team sort of focused on making SCOM improvements, but where we're seeing the sort of real sort of leaps and bounds is on the Azure side. So although SCOM is still very relevant for all of us, typically we're not seeing that that development coming out of Microsoft at the moment. But the real good news is that SCOM is a platform, and a great one at that. It's an extensible platform that really was designed, to be extended by third parties. And as a community, we have the power, to extend SCOM and make it do what we need to do as a modern platform. So that's the community, and Squared Up, hopefully you've seen already, are playing a big part in that. We're really proud to support the SCOM community with a number of free, modernizing solutions. And at the top of my list is the PowerShell Monitoring Management Pack. Hopefully you've all downloaded and installed that. It's a really very sort of simple concept, very sort of powerful though in what it does, which is everywhere in the SCOM console where there's VB script, you now have PowerShell support. So whether it's adding in monitors or performance collection rules or tasks, you can now do that with PowerShell and not just VB scripts. So you can really engage with your users and your audience and get their sort of PowerShell scripts and embed those in SCOM. Next up, HTML email notifications. It's something we've had in Squared Up for a while, and we open sourced that with a number of just simple scripts that can enable HTML notifications in any SCOM environment. We put together a data on demand management pack that adds in some basic tasks onto Windows servers and Linux servers, and even created a Citrix logon simulator that can test Citrix from the outside in. And of course, we have our Community Answers platform, which takes the very successful Stack Overflow Q&A platform and applies that into the SCOM space. So Community Answers is not just a Squared Up Q&A platform. It's really focused at SCOM and related technologies such as OMS. So loads of hopefully good stuff coming out from Squared Up that you're all up to speed with. But there are many, many more awesome community projects out there, and we really love telling the SCOM community all about these. Typically at events, it's accompanied by some whiskey tasting that goes down very well. A bunch of free SCOM resources and some free whiskey. What could be better? Very recently, we've actually run a coffee break webinar just last week on a great new MP that's come out from a guy based in Israel called Zvi Aretsky, which very similar to the PowerShell management pack, actually adds in support for using SQL queries to create monitoring data. So create monitors, rules, and so on, all using a SQL query, which really extends the power of SCOM to now create monitoring just from any SQL database. So that's a really impressive management pack, and we covered that in last week's coffee break. And actually today we had a coffee break with Nathan Gow, who's the author of a new security management pack. Nathan is a premier field engineer at Microsoft, developed this pack based on all of his sort of experience and knowledge of this space, and a really, really highly recommended security management pack that monitors your entire environment for telltale signs of an intruder. So really, another great management pack resource. And there are so many more that we've covered across coffee breaks and events and so on blogs, everything from URL monitoring, TCP monitoring, F5, Kemp load balancers, Hyper-V, and many, many more. And every time we present these community solutions, we get great feedback. People just want sort of more and more. They're always really, really kind of excited to find out about these community resources, and really kind of glad that they now have that in their armory. So it's a really great feeling to be sort of promoting these management packs and kind of sharing this, but always feels a bit frustrating that there isn't a better way to find out about all these management packs in the first place. So, that is the real challenge. All those great resources. SCOM's an extensible platform. It's a really, really great story. But typically, most of us are sitting there finding it really hard to find these management packs. You might read a blog by your favorite blogger or MVP and find out about a new management pack there. You might be part of a local user group, and in a meeting you hear about new management packs from members of that community. You might go to events, System Center Universe, Experts Live, Ignite. Especially if we're there, we generally try and run a session promoting all of these community management packs. You might belong to some of the community sites out there that support SCOM and System Center, maybe word of mouth, maybe forums like TechNet and so on. Maybe you're on Twitter and up to speed with that and kind of receiving tweets about new management packs, maybe from vendors themselves and maybe from Microsoft field teams. So lots of different ways to find out about these management packs, but actually really hard to keep on top of these when, day to day you've got plenty of other things to do. Very hard to be sort of engaged with all of these different touch points to learn about these new management packs. And of course, when you do learn about the management pack, you've also got to then try and sort of keep it up to date and learn about updates to that management pack as well. So this is a real frustration, a real challenge, I think, for most of us, and real frustration to see that this is the case. As I say, SCOM is an awesome platform that's very extensible. There's a really mature community around it that's both extended it over the years with management packs, and also there are some brand new management packs coming out just sort of several over the last few months, for example. So how do we find out about them all? Well, as a good example of the community in action, Squared Up were out at the Midwest Management Summit, that's MMS, out in May this year. And actually we met up with a guy called Nathan Foreman, who's a SCOM administrator, or who was a SCOM administrator at a Fortune 500 company out in Minnesota there. And actually Nathan's experience was probably sort of similar to many of ours as SCOM administrators, consuming many management packs as part of his role. But actually unusually with Nathan, he also had published a few management packs. So he created a couple. One in particular helps you get control of your OMS data. So if you've ever tried out OMS and found out that a lot of data got uploaded very quickly and you burnt through your budget, then his management packs are the solution to that give you full control over which data is being uploaded by which agents to OMS. So Nathan himself had put these management packs together and uploaded them on his practice2perfect.com blog. Now, if you haven't heard about that blog, you're in good company, because actually, Nathan sort of runs this blog and has a good readership, but it's not one of those blogs that's out there globally and everyone's kind of reading day to day. So a real shame that Nathan had produced these awesome management packs and perhaps hadn't got the right audience for them. And in addition to that, as a management pack authoring expert, Nathan had actually published a bunch more management packs that are actually sitting just on his laptop, not because he wasn't allowed to share them, but just again he felt like there's really hard to actually get them out there and get a lot of feedback on these management packs. So this is a problem we sort of sat down and discussed with Nathan. We then ran one of our whiskey tasting sessions at MMS, and again found that many people were really interested in Nathan's management packs and the other management packs that were out there, but sort of really found it hard to find out how they could discover these management packs. So sitting down with Nathan had a fantastic idea, which was, let's have one place where SCOM admins can discover and keep up to date with all of those community MPs. And that one place should be really sort of simple to consume and contribute to, and also controlled by the community. So that was the idea, that was the inspiration, and we sort of sat down with Nathan, kind of worked that through. And over the last few months, we've engaged with Nathan and sort of supported him in the development of a brand new community resource, which is the Community MP Catalog. So what is it? In short, an open source, community-owned MP catalog with full SCOM console integration. So in a nutshell, that's what we're introducing today, and this will help you discover all of those management packs and keep up to date, and you'll find that it's exceptionally easy to use. So that's the intro. At this point, I was going to bring Nathan online. We did this sort of earlier today, and I think it was sort of 5 a.m. Nathan's time, so a little bit of an unsociable hour for him. Hopefully in Central Time, it's probably about sort of midday for him now, so probably a better time to take you through the details of the catalogue and hopefully give you a demo. So Nathan, are you online and can you hear me?
I am. Thank you for the introduction, Richard. I've had quite a bit, much more coffee since 5 a.m. this morning, so...
Fantastic. All right. Well, I've got sort of one more slide that hopefully you can kind of talk us through in terms of just an overview of the MP catalog, and then I'm sure, like kind of most people on the webinar, are keen to see it in action. So, do you want to talk us through just some of the high level details?
Yes, be glad to. So it's, as Richard covered, open source, community owned. It's really hopefully aiming to be just as simple as it sounds, as distributed out to the community. Everyone can get involved. Everyone can see how it works. And everyone can hopefully get benefit from it, because it's a vibrant community and it's hard to keep tabs on everything that's going on. So the data that drives this catalog, being community driven, we wanted to make sure it was accessible to the whole community. So it's based on a GitHub repository of simple JSON files that everyone can go in and read and hopefully contribute to, help us build up the repository, help us keep up to date on the latest versions. We'll go through that in a minute. And then there is a matching UI integration for the SCOM console to just streamline the process. There's 3 core elements to that UI, and that's the ability to discover new management packs, keep up to date with your current management packs, and then just a simplified notification for when an author you follow or a management pack you follow more specifically receives an update. And the catalog, both the catalog and the management pack, are community moderated. There's a group of 5 moderators that drive the content that goes in. The community hopefully will help contribute that content, but the 5 moderators moderating what gets added directly to the catalog are myself, Daniele Grandini. He's a great MVP and a regular community author based out of Italy. Martin Ernst works for a major service provider over in Norway. He's done a lot of great advanced community work, including a web API for SCOM that you may have heard of or seen on his blog that lets you pull some alerts directly from a RESTful endpoint. Sean Williams, he's from the Purdue University in the States. He's done a lot of work with distributed applications and charting out some of their key applications that the students use at Purdue, and also tying those up with squared up displays. There was a case study covering some of that online if you had questions on that. And finally, Peter Svensson. He's from Sweden, works for an IT services organization, and is a regular contributor to the community.squaredupanswers blog. So you'll see him on there once in a while. And I can't say this enough, it'll bring back, it's free, and we're really hoping everyone will contribute. As Richard had mentioned earlier, with the blogs being different locations, a bunch of different authors, the best way to get the best selection is for everyone to both consume and then pitch in what management packs they know about or they may have authored. And it is very versatile. Microsoft at Ignite had announced a newer catalog offering that'll be available in the 2018 releases of SCOM, but this community MP catalog actually works 2012 and up. So it'll work in your current environments.
Thanks, Nathan. And also, I guess to clarify how this is different to the maybe the sort of Microsoft MP catalog that's included in the console already. Like, how do they differ, and how does the content differ?
Oh, great question. Thanks for reminding me. It is a much more inclusive catalog. The catalog that Microsoft is curating is for third-party vendors that work closely with Microsoft. The goal of this catalog is to reach out to the broader community and really get as much as we can in there for, even if you're looking for just a small management pack to do one or two things, so that you can find it. It's a much larger scope.
Excellent. All right, let's check it out in a demo as well. Hopefully, we won't post the download details just yet. Let's see a demo, and then we'll finish off with where to get this. And I do kind of remind you all, if you want to ask questions as we go along, please do use the kind of question and the chat window in GoToWebinar, and hopefully we can kind of pick up those questions, and Nathan can answer those as he does a demo. So Nathan, I'll make you a presenter, and then hopefully we can see it in action.
Sounds great.
All right, we can see your screen. Yep.
So just to start back at the beginning there of our brief overview, this is that GitHub-based repository. You can see quite a few management packs we have here in our list, and it's growing. I think we're at about 45, and we keep adding more as people contribute. Some of the people from this morning's webinar actually sent over a couple like, hey, did you hear about this one? And so we've got those queued up. If you look through here quick, it's a very simple JSON index that lists out the management packs, and each of those management packs has a correlating folder with a detail file and a README. We'll pick on SV's SQL pack here for the SQL templates that I created. There's a simple README that goes through the features, and then there's a details.json that kind of breaks down where you can get the pack. You can see the URL there. We don't actually store any of the compiled packs in the catalog. It's really a reference so that you can get to the direct source and get the most up-to-date code. It stores the version, and then it's got a couple search tags, which we'll cover in a minute. And that sums up about the catalog. So for anyone that wants to contribute, you can just go in and make GitHub-based edits and polls, and we'll update our documentation on that to make it even easier to get in on there, but it's all you need to do to jump in.
All right, so the catalog itself is just a bunch of text files up on GitHub here, which everyone can see and contribute to.
Correct.
All right, so that sounds like a good start. That's kind of very easy. How does that look in the SCOM console?
And now to the more exciting part. As you can see in my SCOM console, it's 2016 here, but we've tested it with the 2012. Looks and behaves the same. When you import this catalog management pack, you'll get a new block on the left with 3 new items. So you'll see a block labeled management packs with community in parentheses. And under there, the 3 core functions that we're working on, starting with discovery. Once you highlight that, it's going to run out to GitHub and pull the data from those packs, and now you'll see it directly visible in my SCOM console. So there's a couple ways we put in to search it to simplify items, but it's designed to be an easy browsable list. But if you pick one of these tags up top, similar to the tags I had showed you in the SQL reference, we can pick authoring, because SV's management pack deals with authoring. If we click that, we see it'll actually filter down immediately to all of the management packs that have authoring as a tag. We can even further filter if you click another tag, and you can unclick, so it's just a very IT friendly kind of click around, get into what you're looking for. We've also got the traditional but very functional search. So you can just type in, oh, I'm looking for SQL, and it pulls up those 2 SQL packs, or you could search for SVE if you're looking for SVE, or we'll pick the maintenance pack for Tau. So we've got Tao Yang's pack there under the maintenance. I've got it installed already, so it's grayed out. But maybe I want to look into a couple other packs and see I don't have Tao's Ops Manager Health Sync pack here. You can also click on the author's name on the right, and that will bring your discovery view to all the packs in the catalog from that author. So it's hoping to be an easy navigable list of management packs.
All right. To quote someone on the Q&A, a thing of beauty. So you've got some appreciation there already.
Perfect. Thank you. It's a perfect quote. We'll need to keep that. So once you've got your packs, you've played around with the view and you found the 2 or 3 that you need, hopefully more. You need to stay up to date with those packs because code changes, versions change, bugs get fixed. So we've got the second section here for installed community packs, and it'll view very similar to the management pack view you're used to in SCOM, but you'll notice we put in a couple extra key columns. You can see the list has been filtered to only packs you have installed, and in the columns you can see the available version that the catalog has, the version that you have installed, and in my case they're the same. I try and keep up to date. I should probably have had a couple outdated for the example, but I just try and stay on top of those. And a status here, which would actually display update available if you didn't have the latest one. And to keep things streamlined, you can just click on the one you're interested in, and there's a context sensitive view management pack online that'll take you just immediately out to where you can find the details on the updated pack.
And Nathan, a question that's come in on the chat, does this only show management packs that have been installed through the Community Management Pack catalog, or will this also show any packs that you have installed when you first install the MP catalog?
Great question. So it finds any management packs that you have installed that are also in the catalog based on the management pack name. So if you've been working with the community over the last couple of years and you have a handful of those in, they should immediately be visible here, as well as information on that version with what you have and what we have in the catalog will immediately be available.
Excellent. And also just a quick one on the discovery. When you found a management pack, does this import that management pack directly, or do you still have to sort of download it separately?
It's currently, and I think the best design is it's set so that you go out to the blogs and get the pack from there. So that way you get the most up-to-date documentation, any notes from the author on how to get the most out of it. We don't actually reach into the management server for any installation or modification of these packs.
All right, great. Yeah, so you're still sort of getting sent to the author's sort of blog, or sort of the GitHub repo, and you download it from there.
Yep.
Excellent. And if you need to keep on top of all these updates, how are you going to do that?
That's the final, not a very fancy pane here, but provides a key function. It allows you to update and enable alerting for the updates on those packs. So if you go in here, you can just click enable and click apply, and then the sync time is set for 9 in the morning because we don't want to wake anyone up. It's a regular SCOM rule you can override, but it'll just send you an informational alert that says packs that you have installed have new versions available. Keep you on top of that.
Great, excellent. And actually kind of a question that came in via the chat here. Can you just sort of explain what level of internet access is needed? Is it the management server or the console, and does it work through proxies, for example?
Glad to. So currently it does not support proxies. Unfortunately, that's not one we put in. That's something we'll keep an eye on the GitHub repo. If that's something needed, we can look into that. Luckily, it does do the the view here, as you can see, I have the console loaded. All of these calls are made from the console. So if you're running the console on your desktop or laptop, it's going to make the call directly from there out, which does help avoid some of the security that servers may find. That monitoring that we covered last, however, does run on the root management server for the daily check, and it will require the ability to reach out to the internet to pull that JSON library daily.
All right. So you need internet access from the SCOM console just to do the discovery and installed, but to do the alerting, your management server would need access. But I guess that's something you can do sort of manually if you don't need that access. You mentioned about proxies. So this management pack is open source, right? So hopefully it's sort of still will be developed, but also others can contribute to it if they want to add in any kind of functionality or any sort of fixes.
Correct. Yeah, it's perfect time. I forgot to mention that, but that's a great one that someone might be able to help suggest how that could work and push that up there. It is open source, and the code is available now on GitHub for the UI and monitoring.
Excellent. And any other ideas in terms of the roadmap for this? Is there sort of any other features you're going to add in?
I've heard an interest in working on getting the ability to rate and comment on some of the packs. We don't have much around that, but heard that it would be nice if someone could go in here and really mark on. Oh, let me click that again. Pull it up. Really mark on, say, this pending reboots pack that it works great, or it needs a little update here, or any of those simple things you're used to in the internet community of just pitching in your feedback quickly. So.
All right. And then I think just another kind of question that's come in from the chat, just comparing this with what Microsoft have planned in that 2018, 1801 release. So the installed management packs in the Microsoft management pack is generally restricted to partners they work with, and there's kind of fairly sort of heavyweight process to get added into that. I think it's kind of similar to the partner solutions node further on down there in the admin pane. So that's the sort of official Microsoft supported management packs and Microsoft management packs themselves, plus plus certified third-party management packs. This sort of community pack is the low touch community contributed equivalent to that. So anyone can contribute to management pack, and it's community moderated. So you'll see a sort of a much greater breadth of all of the solutions out there, rather than just the ones that have gone through a sort of Microsoft certification process.
Correct, and we were going to allow the companies like NICE. I'll put in here quick. They do offer free packs and contribute to the community, so those you will find in here as well. There's I think I just saw pop up here on the question. There's a free and paid tab, so that as the list grows, it will be easy to pull out if there are paid packs that you may also find in the solutions gallery from Microsoft, but you'll be able to find all of the packs in this gallery that include even the little ones from Cameron or Tau or either pick your favorite MVP. Hopefully we'll have all of those as well as the third-party packs.
Great. And so from that point of view, you might not be using this, you might be using this to discover paid packs, but you can certainly use this to then keep up to date with those vendor management packs. That's a really nice way of just getting that installed and then not having to necessarily tune into all of the maybe email notifications that you get from a vendor about updates. You can just see all those updates here and get alerted on those.
Yep. Yeah, this does not prompt for a sign up. That's one of the feedbacks we heard on the partner solutions tab, that all of them require to sign up. We send it to the blog author and it's up to them. So it's much more flexible there.
All right, fantastic. Well, thanks everyone for the feedback so far on the Q&A, and thanks Nathan for the demo. Keep it coming while we finish off. What I was going to do is just switch over back to the deck here, because I guess the piece of information that you're all looking for is where to get this MPE catalog from. So to sort of summarize this, the only link you need is this link here. So squaredup.com/MP catalog. So as Nathan's shown you, the MP catalog itself is fully open source up there on GitHub, as is the management pack. This is a community project and a community resource. We're just hosting the download of that pack on squaredup.com. So if you just head over to that URL, that's where you can get the catalog management pack itself, plus all the other resources you need. In terms of sort of support and kind of questions around this, we'd urge you to head over to our Community Answers platform. As I say, that's not just squared up questions. It's very, very kind of broad around the SCOM community, and there's some great Q&A on that platform on a daily basis. So if you have any questions about the MP catalog, head over to community.squaredup.com. And if you are then wanting to just not consume this but get involved, and I hope many of you will, as Nathan said, if you've spotted a management pack that's not included in the catalog, please do suggest that, and we'll get that included, and that's for the benefit of everyone out there. So to get involved, head over to github.com/MP catalog, and you'll see that's actually where the catalog itself is hosted, and then the management pack as well. So if you want to actually check out specifically what the management pack is doing, there's complete transparency there. It's just open source, so you can kind of check out exactly what that what the MP is doing, and of course also contribute to it if you have any suggestions. If you do have any issues either with the catalog or the management pack itself, obviously you can discuss those on the community.squaredup.com platform, but ideally then raise those as issues, or even a pull request for sort of a suggested edit for the catalog or the management pack itself. Nathan showed that sort of very briefly there on GitHub. All you need is a GitHub account, and then you can just literally browse to the right file that you maybe have seen the version numbers out of date or the URL's incorrect, and just hit that edit button, make the suggested change, and that gets reviewed by the moderators and merged in. So hopefully as a community, we'll keep this sort of up to date and relevant for everyone. And really it is then the door to all of those other great community resources out there. So from now on, hopefully, certainly from a Squared Up point of view, whenever we're talking about a new management pack or a sort of management pack that we're recommending, we'll make sure it's on the community. So this is your sort of one place to go to kind of keep up to date with all of the new management packs. And as I say, it's been really surprising the number of new management packs that I guess have been out there for many years and are still sort of undiscovered, but also some great new management packs coming out very recently. That security management pack, the SQL query management pack, and just in doing this, Nathan discovered, I think, an F5 management pack, so enabling F5 monitoring that we weren't aware of before either. So there's kind of some great resources out there. So please do jump on this, get this downloaded, make sure all of your community management packs are up to date, and use it to discover more packs like them out there. So thanks very much for listening, and thank you very much, Nathan, for talking us through that and showing us the demo. Both Nathan and I really hope you enjoy using the Community Management Pack catalog, and keep on sort of providing sort of feedback and other suggestions for the community. We'll stick online for the next few minutes and continue the conversation. If there are any other questions, please do use the webinar Q&A, or offline, or if you're watching this offline on YouTube, head over to community.squaredup.com and raise your questions there. So kind of look forward to hearing your feedback and continuing this as a community project. So I'll stick myself on mute for a minute or two, just take a look at the questions and cover off anything else that needs discussing on air. All right, one question we're going to cover off again about the support for SCOM versions. So we know that Microsoft have something planned for the next version of SCOM, 1801, that should be out in January 2018. But Nathan, can you kind of talk us through the support for different SCOM versions?
Yes. So it's tested and works great on 2012 R2 and 2016. We've run it through all the tests we have there. Worked with someone this morning who's going to test it on 2012 SP1 and get back to us. It should work, and we'll hope to get the documentation updated with that when we can confirm. But we don't have a firm answer either way on that one, but it should work there as well.
All right, thanks, Nathan. I think looking at all the questions, I think we've kind of covered off most of them. Again, if you want a question answered, then please do use community.squaredup.com, and we'll kind of answer those there as well. But with that, I think it's time to say kind of thanks again to all of you for joining. Thanks to Nathan.
Thank you.
And I look forward to speaking to you next time. I'll finish with the slide. Let's just go back to that slide there that has the download link, and all of this presentation and the recording will be made available on the squaredup.com blog as well. So if you kind of want to follow up on any of this or reach out to Nathan and have a discussion with him, we'll put all those details on our blog soon. Okay, thanks for listening, everyone, and speak to you next time.